Hey guys, Ash here coming at you today, Shadow Legends, with another champion guy, this time on the Red Lady herself, Mother Cybele. So first, a few shout-outs, a lot of shout-outs to you guys. I'm not going to read all your names because Mother Cybele is one of our most requested champions here on the channel. It's nice after almost 450 guides to actually get to a very popular request, and you can see a lot of people saying she's underrated, a lot of people just wanting to see her in different sets and different ideas in different builds. Today, we might not show you every single build, but we'll certainly talk about all the builds and all the areas that you can use this underrated legendary Knights Revenant Force Affinity support champion, Mother Cybele. Stay tuned.
Alive! It's alive! It's alive!
Alright guys, so Mother Cybele, as I just mentioned, is a Knights Revenant Red Lady legendary Force Affinity. Man, she looks so freaking cool. I've always loved the aesthetic of Mother Cybele. First thing you should note on Mother Cybele is that she is one of the fastest champions inside the entire game of Raid Shadow Legends with a 115 base speed. That's the same as Siphi, for example. We have increased ally speed in all battles by 24%. So low-key, Mother Cybele is one of the queens of speed. She has the best all-speed battle aura in the game, tied with like 20 other champions, and she has that high 115 base. We love to see that. So let's start on her A1, which is actually a big feature of her kit. She gets a turn meter fill of 15% on herself, and then attacks all enemies with a 50% chance of placing the big version of decreased speed on her A1 ability. That's great. That's the same as Krisk, plus she gets the turn meter fill. Heck yeah, just taking extra advantage of that high speed that she's already bringing to the table with her base stats. The bad news is, man, that's a lot of skill tomes for an A1 ability. Oof. That kind of stinks. Not gonna lie to you guys. The good news is on the A2 and the A3, we only have 6 levels, but that is 6 legendary skill tomes you're going to have to use, plus all on the A1, 6 more. 12 legendary skill tomes is very, very costly, so make sure that you can absolutely use this kit before investing all of those precious resources. That being said, she does have a lot of utility. So on the A2, Revive on Death and increased defense on all allies for 2 turns. This is specifically very, very good for Sand Devil with Revive on Death because of that, well, that hard-hitting ability on the Sand Devil's A3 that's going to wipe out your team. She can bring everybody back to life. I love her against Sand Devil, but even in Hydra or any battle, these are 2 very nice buffs to have on your team. Obviously, Revive on Death is pretty intuitive, but the increased defense on a 3-turn cooldown as well. On the A3 ability, Uncanny Transfer. Again, the books here go all to the cooldown. Swaps HP with an ally. If this champion's HP is equal to or higher than the target after the swap, fills this champion's turn meter by 40%, places an increased speed on this champion, and a block damage on the target ally for 1 turn. If this champion's HP is lower, we're placing the increased speed and the block damage on this champion and a continuous heals on this champion as well. So not a bad little support ability on the A3. I gotta be honest though, sometimes, especially against Hydra, I don't use this unless I really have to, but it's kind of one of those abilities where it depends. If you want her to be kind of a healer support with that additional turn meter fill, it really synergizes nicely with the turn meter fill that she's already bringing on her A1 ability. Gravewalker, her passive, fully heals the ally with the lowest HP whenever this champion is killed. Heals all allies by 20% of their max HP and fills their turn meters by 15% when this champion is revived. Now, sure, it's an interesting passive, right? There's some utility there, but it feels rather niche. The cool thing to recognize about the Gravewalker passive is that it synergizes nicely with the Revive on Death. She's going to get credit and fully heal the target with the lowest HP when she's killed, even with the Revive on Death on her, which she brings to the table anyway. And then when the Revive on Death revives her, you're going to heal everybody. So it's actually pretty nice to have. And again, it fits with her kit just beautifully here. So there she is, man. A really, really underrated, underestimated support champion. We didn't really even talk about the value of decreased speed. It's one of the best debuffs in the game. And she has that on her A1. So really, really solid all-around champion. Let's take a quick look to see what hellhades.com's gives her. They give her a 3.5 overall rating. Maybe I'm a little bit biased. Well, I guess we all are biased at the end of the day, right? In this game, it's all subjective. I give her probably a 4. I'm a bit higher than your average player, I feel like, on Mother Cybele. Clan Boss, they give her a 3.5. Hydra, 4 out of 5. Amos, 4 out of 5. Sand Devil, 5 out of 5. Ice Golem, 4.5 out of 5. Great for progression, basically, in any dungeon with the exception of Fire Knight. Ice Golem hard, very helpful there as well, especially with those big hits with the revive on death and the increased defense and the decreased speed. Well, you guys know her kit, right? Eternal Dragon, Frost Spider, 4 out of 5, and Arena, 3.5 out of 5. She has a 0.2 multiplier, HP multiplier on her A1. That's her only damage dealing ability. I will say it's a weak overall grading, but it's not that bad, right? It's similar to what is Eric's A1? Her base HP is pretty low, though, for an HP-based champion, so take that into consideration as well. The reason I'm mentioning the damage here and the multipliers on her A1 is because I've been impressed with what she can do in Hydra Clan Boss, you know, as a support champion. She's not going to be your main DPS or anything like that, but you have a lot of flexibility on how you want to build or how you can build this champion for areas like Hydra Clan Boss. So what the heck am Eric's? I just want your multiplier, Eric's. Give it to me. What's your A1? So that's going to load in just 1 second here. All right, so her A1 is 0.22. It's an AoE HP based. It's really, again, it says weak overall grading. It's not bad for a support. It's weak if she's your main DPS. So it can definitely add up. All right, those are her area rankings. I'm going to show you the build that I use on Mother Cybele, and then I'm going to talk about all the other builds that I would recommend depending on where you want to lean the hardest on this champion. And then we'll show you a run against, I think the Sand Devil would be great. So Mother Cybele here, I have her in a stun set. This is just one of the billions of builds that you can use on her. Because of that AoE on the A1, a few like more niche sets come to mind immediately, right? Number one is the stun set. I wouldn't call it niche, but stun set's going to be amazing for Cintranos, for wave content anywhere inside the game. And that's primarily where I use her. I use her in 3 or 4 different areas in the Cursed City, in the end game, and I love her in all of those areas. The nice thing about the stun set, too, is I can still leave her in the stun set against the Sand Devil, especially Cintranos, Cursed City Sand Devil. I can leave her in this build. I don't need to change builds just for the Sand Devil, which is nice, so I tend to leave her on my account just in a stun set. However, with the AoE on the A1, you could put her in a Provoke set. You could put her in a Cursed set. So for Hydra Clan Boss, I would love for her to be my Cursed champion. She'll be placing those hexes on that A1 ability, especially if you have an ally attacker on the team. Lana Theril, a Farrakhan the Fat, a Cardial, a Lady Mikage, any of those champions she's going to pair very well with in the Cursed set with the AoE on the A1 ability. Same thing with the stun set. Because of that AoE on the A1, it's something that I definitely recognize and look for on every champion in the game. If they have that, I'm automatically getting pretty excited about the potential in terms of the versatility of builds. So let's go ahead and take a look at some other global presets that I have here on my account that I would consider using on a Mother Cybele. I really wouldn't put her in a Merciless. I probably would save my reflex gear. Obviously, my straight out damage gear I would save. Relentless, I'm probably not a massive fan, although you could use Relentless and try to get the uptime on those buffs down to a 2-turn on the A2 ability, especially if you're not using the A3. So I would consider, you know, maybe Reflex or Relentless for that reason. However, personally, I'm a fan of, she's an HP-based champion. She doesn't have a ton of HP, but you could definitely use her in a bolster set if you're looking for that sort of a skill set for the arena or just more survivability on a specific Cintranos floor. So bolster, I would say, is one option. Regeneration with resist, she could help be a just a high resist regen support type champion for your Ice Golem team. So that could be an option for you guys as well. We have protection. 9-piece protection is a consideration if you already have a Hex applier for your Hydra Clan Boss team, right? So what if you already have Hex? Then put her in 9-piece protection if you have the accessories, because she's going to get a nice damage boost off of that A2 ability, 10% on all allies because of those buffs that she's bringing to the table. So I really love 9-piece protect. It would be probably my personal go-to, 9-piece protect or reflex for Hydra if I didn't need the Cursed or the Provoke. Provoke, as you already mentioned, Stun, we have her in a stun set. Cursed, I wouldn't go Cursed Attack, I would go Cursed HP on the chest. But you guys can see already, you know, I mean, I've seen some players just mess around and run Slayer and just pound away with the A1 on her, right? Not my recommendation, but there's a lot of different options on this champion, which is really, really fun. It gives her such versatility, which is one of my favorite things about Mother Cybele. All right, guys, let's take a look at our Mother Cybele build here. So first and foremost, we do want accuracy on this champion because of her A1 ability. We want to take advantage of that decreased speed. Now, there might be some areas such as Sand Devil where you just don't need it, but I trust that you guys know whether or not you want the decreased speed on that A1, whether it's important for your runs. If you're in wave content, dungeon survivability content, progression content, Hydra clan boss, we want accuracy. Other than that, maybe we already have the decreased speed, maybe we're not depending on Mother Cybele, or maybe it's a Sand Devil quick run where you could just go HP, right? We have crit damage on the amulet, we have HP on the ring, survivability over damage on this champion, survivability over damage. But if you can keep her alive, then you may as well get some damage out of her as well. We have speed on the boots. We have HP percentage on the chest. We have crit rate on the gauntlets. Again, go HP percentage before we worry about damage. But this is, you know, crit rate for a little bit of extra damage in longer battles. And again, we're just looking for some accuracy, some HP, and some speed on our substats here. We do need to glyph out some of this gear, but you guys get the overall point. These are the stats that we're rocking today. 72k, 4200 on the defense, 261 on the speed, 86, 163 crit rate, crit damage, and 288 on the accuracy. 288 isn't going to be enough to get us by in all situations, but for the content that we're tackling today, we should be pretty good, which is basically just going to be the Sand Devil is what I'm going to show you guys. So defense here, we went down and we picked up Fearsome Presence as our tier 6 mastery, but you don't need to go with this mastery loadout here, guys. In most situations, such as Hydra Clan Boss, the only big switch I would do here is come down the offense tree and end with War Master instead. I do like having Life Drinker on her for a little bit more survivability, just in case we need it. I would probably forego the defense tree, go with accuracy, come down and go with both Sniper and Master Hexer for Hydra Clan Boss. That way we can take advantage of increasing the duration of the decreased speed and increasing the land rate of the decreased speed with our Sniper Mastery. Let's see what good old hellhades.com, the best website in the biz, recommends, because I'm sure they have a very nice Hydra recommendation here for you guys to take advantage of. So let's see here. Hydra Clan Boss. Here we go. And I'll link this website for you guys if you'd like in the show notes of this video for you guys to go ahead and check out their different recommendations. You should definitely give love to the website. It's great. So as we mentioned here, they recommend going down the offense tree, just hugging the left-hand side. They do recommend Rapid Response and Arcane Celerity, both great choices for her. I would probably forego Arcane Celerity for Life Drinker if we are building here for a little bit of damage. And then they have Sniper and Master Hexer, as we already discussed. So there we go. That's a solid recommendation for Hydra Clan Boss for Mother Cybele. All right, guys, let's go ahead and run her in a little bit of Centranos. All right, guys, stage 300 of the Cursed City Hard. This is a very challenging stage. A lot of players get caught up, get stuck on this particular version of Elnema Sand Devil. Today, we're going to get through it together and show you the prowess of Mother Cybele and of Estrid. Now, we have the King and the Queen here as well as Tomb Lord. King and the Queen are great, but they're not mandatory on this team. They're very replaceable with other DPS and or support. We're going to come in here and we're just going to lead off with the A1 because we do have a sleep champion on the team in Estrid. We're going to go ahead and put that Sand Devil to sleep. And I'm going to go ahead and start by putting a decreased defense on the Sand Devil so we can get a little bit of damage out of the A2 here on Narcissus. So now the Sand Devil is already woken back up, one turn away from the big nuke. So we're going to go in with that Revive on Death for 2 turns right now. Not much to do here. We don't need to go in with the increased speed because we really don't want our team to be moving a lot faster here. We can just kind of cycle A1s for a little bit and wait till the big nuke comes down. We just don't want anybody to go so fast where they strip away. Obviously, there are 2 turns of Revive on Death, which shouldn't be an issue. So now the Sand Devil comes in with a big nuke. Ironically, nobody died, which is rarely the case. I feel like I always have my whole team wipe there. But But had anybody died there, come on, guys, why can't you die when you're supposed to? We would have been sitting pretty, obviously, having the revive on death on everybody. So we already have decreased speed. Again, because if there's a 4 counter there, I'd rather not burn my A1 ability by getting that counter down. Let's go in with the A2 instead of Narcissus. The A1 here of Estrid, do a little bit extra damage. No choice but the A1 here on Tomb Lord, but the Sand Devil will get a turn here and we'll get right back into the swing of things, right? So now we have that 4-turn cooldown on the Feasting Swarm, excuse me. So now we can just basically cycle until Estrid can land her sleep on that A1 ability again, and we can just keep, you know, using the A3 when we don't want to take that counter down, right? So that's basically how we run the team, excuse me. So now on this next A1 of Estrid, we'll be able to put that Sand Devil to sleep again. We don't really need the A2 ability, but I'll use it anyway here. Probably should have saved it. If you don't need it, don't use it, right? We don't have like any decrease or any defense-based champions on the team or anything that we need to worry about. So as I said, we're going to go ahead and land that sleep, and we're going to come right back in again. This time again with the slumber counter up. No need really to go super, super hard. Let's go in with the A2. Get those poisons, and basically rinse and repeat here, right? So if for whatever reason the Feasting Swarm gets low again, the cooldown on it, then we can go right back in with the A2. But otherwise, her job here is basically done. Just support the team. We do have Queen on the team, but again, we're not going to need a reviver on this squad, right? We're not going to be able to need her revive because we're totally good. We could probably just fit in another DPS in this position because you don't even really need her support, her shield here, or cleanse on this team. All right, guys. I'm going to come back at you guys when this one is almost over here because it's getting rather boring. And then I'll show you her like a quick, I don't know, campaign run just to demonstrate her prowess in the stun set. Be right back. All right, guys, we are approaching the end of the battle here. I did kind of misspeak. We can absolutely use a cleanser on this team for the decreased speed and the decreased accuracy, which has been a pain to deal with. But we did take down the boss there thanks to Soul Reap of Narcissus. So Estrid, Narcissus really helping out from a damage perspective as well as Tomb Lord, obviously. But Mother Cybele really helping out just to stay alive and be the motor that keeps this team running. So guys, let me go ahead and show you a very, very quick run in like campaign or something like that, just to show maybe Doom Tower would be better than campaign. All right, guys, floor 1, Doom Tower hard. I figured this would be the perfect spot to kind of showcase her in a stun set. The nice thing about her in a stun set is you don't really need that regen in Immortal, or you can go with a stun set plus an Immortal set. As you can see, 23% chance to land stuns on every hit. We've already stunned 3 out of 5 here. And she's all on her own, right? Getting the job done against level 250 mobs. And the cool thing is we can use that A2 as much as we need to as well, especially towards the end of a cycle like this, right? And you can utilize her in the same way, no matter where it is, a secret room, Cintranos, whatever, right? So again, she's dealing like a decent amount of damage. Keep in mind, she has Fearsome Presence. She does not have War Master either here. And she's not built necessarily for a ton of damage. She does have a little bit of crit rate here. So look at her just soloing the waves. No big deal. Mother Cybele without any real, you know, built-in robust self-healing set. She's still getting the job done. You could even run her in, I guess, Guardian gear if you wanted to try to build her super tanky in a support type progression fashion. So now we can just keep A1ing. I was saying that we need to maybe use that A2 ability. Maybe we could open up with the A2, just get that increased defense to help her. I don't know if it's even worth it. I think we just keep going for stun shots, right? Not only are we stunning, obviously, with that A1, but we're getting that great control with the decreased speed in addition to that. So here we go again with that A1 ability. I think now would be the time to use the A2, right? Let's go ahead and use it right now. Get that revive on death because she's surely going to die here. But in the meantime, we can just keep pumping out damage and hopefully she dies right now. Of course she doesn't. Of course she doesn't. Well, you guys get the point, right? She's gonna die on this second wave. A little bit of DPS along the same team as her would definitely help. I think I have Necmo Thar in a stun set. So let's go all out stun here. Just to have fun at the end of the video with a dynamic duo of 2 AoE A1 stun sets. Well, Necmo has an AoE everywhere. So speed in all battles, she's got the better aura. Get out of here, Nagoro. Don't sneak in here. So we're gonna now, it's noteworthy too, you cannot use the A3 when she's in solo. So on that previous run, Habby tried to use the A3 on herself, it would not have worked, okay? Keep that in mind. It's not like you can A3 support herself with the block damage and or the continuous heals in the turn meter fill. She needs to target an ally with that. A swap needs to happen on the Uncanny Exchange. So now things are moving a lot faster here. You guys can see we're just going to keep spamming basically A1s and A2 on Nekmo Thar. But the nice thing is before he goes down, we can save him with that A3 ability or the A2. In this case, we'll do the A3. We'll get the continuous heals on her and the block damage. Let's go in with the A3, the A2. But hopefully you guys have seen here, sure, Doom Tower Stage 1 is not going to be the main use case for Mother Cybele, but you can see everything she's bringing to the table, either as a support duo, a control champion, a Hydra damage dealer support, a Hydra decreased speed debuffer, a revive on death for El Namath. I think she's a really unique champion and very good, very fast. I really love me some Mother Cybele. Let's get revenge on this second wave before I let you guys go. But let me know what you think of this champion. And as a matter of fact, let's go ahead and put it on full auto here. Let me know what you think of this champion and where you use her that we didn't talk about her. I think we did a pretty good job articulating all the different areas. But overall, I remember she was I think a fragment summon or a fusion, one or the other. Or was she just a guaranteed champion? I think she was a fragment summon back in the day. Let's see if they say it on hellhades.com. She was a fusion back in 2021. So over 3 years ago. Man, has it been that less a time? I feel like, I don't know if I feel, sometimes you feel this way about life. I don't know if it feels like it's been way longer or way shorter. Either way, I feel old, you know? But yeah, she's been in the game for over 3 years now, and I felt like people slept on her a bit when she was released as a fusion. Certainly, she's not the most powerful legendary in the game. Those books are not ideal, but I do love all the different areas that she can benefit your account, right? Very versatile and frankly, a pretty unique champion as well. There she goes, doing some nice damage here. Her and Nekmo, the dynamic duo. I might as well let them get their 10, 15, 20 minutes of fame here and finish off this round 1, floor 1 Doom Tower hard. Getting the challenging content beat here. Good job, guys. What do we get here? Not bad damage-wise either on Mother Cybele. Of course, some of that coming from the Brimstone. Guys, that's going to do it for the video. Keep the champion guide requests coming in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and as always, take care, guys.